All right, welcome to my channel. If you're just stopping by, happy to have you here. Click that subscribe button if you want to join our do-it-yourself community and get lots of cool new ideas, practical tips, home renovation projects, and more. In this video, we are going to be mulching a garden, a very simple way, but I'll give you some practical tips on how to best approach this. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to take this sad-looking flower bed here that kind of wraps around part of our house and turn it into this. Not a perfect transformation, but the idea here is to get some fresh mulch on the ground. You can see here we've already got mulch on there that's pretty old, and we put it on a season ago, maybe 2 seasons ago, so it's lost all of its color and just overall looking pretty old. So first we're going to just kind of make sure prior to mulching that all of our landscaping is where we want it to be. You can see the rocks there. We're going to switch those around. And obviously if you have any hostas that need to be transplanted or other plants, you can take care of that before you mulch. You basically want to do all the nitty gritty behind the scenes because that fresh layer of mulch is going to hide all those inconsistencies and whatnot. If you have any big clumps we recently transplanted some plants, and you can see there's clumps of clay, so you want to flatten those out or just pick them up and get rid of them, and also de-weed everything before as much as you can, or grass that's kind of infiltrating beyond the border there. Weeds and grass and whatnot will go through the new mulch that we put down, so you could consider putting a fabric liner down, just a generic gardening fabric liner you can buy at the hardware store. If you're not planning on replanting or whatnot, get that down. That'll help prevent grass or weeds from coming up through your new mulch. But I generally just I'm on top of it for the most part. I come out and pick grass and weeds if I see them sprouting up every other day or so. There'll be something new, and it's not too bad. But anyway, we're going to open our bag of mulch. Now, kind of a general rule, whatever you calculate in terms of how much mulch you'll need, add 2 or 3 bags extra, or about 10% extra, because I classically always seem to underestimate how much mulch is actually needed. And I don't know, it's just kind of annoying, right, to go back for 1 bag or 2 bags. So save yourself the trouble. Get yourself an extra 2 or 3 bags, or 10% or so of your total project, and then you'll have some extra. It's better to have a little extra versus not enough, in my opinion. Now you can see here where you can mulch around any type of stones or any type of little artifacts or whatever you might have in there, or you can lift them up and put a small layer of mulch underneath. It's a little wasteful, I think, if you're trying to make it stretch and save a buck to mulch, put fresh mulch under something that'll be covered, right? Because you don't necessarily need it, but it could help with evenness and making sure everything's kind of even as much as possible. And notice the application, kind of handfuls, use 2 hands to kind of get a big scoop and put it into any tight areas, right? We'll see here in a minute. You can actually dump the bag, and I'll show you a little trick on how to do that more efficiently, especially if it's a windy day. But this is kind of a small corner area, so it's better to, you don't want the mulch crushing all of your plants if you dump it out, because once you tip it over, it's a bit cumbersome, right? It's a lot of weight shifting and coming out of the bag, and it might be better to hand apply, even though it might mean a few extra scoops. This particular mulch is kind of a brown, you can see here, and we like it. It seems to hold its color quite a bit for months as opposed to days. We've bought other mulch before, and the color just seems to kind of wash away after the first rain. So, and it's not too bright either. Generally don't prefer a red, but whatever. Now, it did rain a little bit before. Notice we're putting it on when the old mulch is dry, because if you put new mulch on top of wet old mulch, it might, be more exposed to mildew or whatnot. That's just a personal thing for me. I like to have everything dry when I apply this. And you can, of course, after you apply it and get it kind of in there, you just sweep off the excess coming over into the sidewalk or any cement areas. Now here's the bag approach. This is my wife, my handy helper here. She's doing most of the work, actually. She just tipped it up and just, look at that. Doesn't hold back. They're kind of heavy, but not, you don't want to lift 10 of these yourself over your head. But now see how she kind of just opens the bag and tears it off. So one handy trick or tip for you, don't tear it all the way off, because those little pieces are going to blow in the wind, or they're just kind of annoying. You have to pick them up, right? The extra thing to keep track of. So I'll show you in a minute here how I prefer to do it. And then you'll want to keep one bag to put the other subsequent bags in, so that you don't have to mess around with, 8, 10, 12 bags or however many you have. So here's what I like to do. You don't need a scissors or anything. This stuff is super lightweight, this plastic. It just kind of tears open. You just have to kind of, obviously you can get a scissors or something to get it started, but stop it right there. See how you don't tear the rest of it off. Keep it all one piece, and then you can, so you don't have to worry about an extra piece that's kind of blowing off, if that makes sense. So now, as far as how much you'll need, you basically multiply the length by the width of your flower bed or garden area to kind of calculate the total square feet. And each one of these bags is basically around 2 cubic feet, which covers like 12 square feet or so at 2 inches deep approximately. So you don't need to go as deep if you're doing existing coverage, perhaps. But if you're trying to fill, if you need 4 inches deep, go out into your flower bed and take a look, and kind of approximate how many inches you'll need. And there's usually a calculator, and you can Google, mulch calculator to figure out how much you'll need total. But I'm going pretty shallow here. There's no need. We already have prior layers of mulch, so we're going to just kind of smooth this out as much as possible. And the goal is to kind of have it cover, you can lift up the leaves and whatnot, and have the new mulch cover the old mulch. In other words, I don't want to see any existing ground coverage whatsoever. And with this project, I needed about 10 bags, 11 bags or something like that. So, and like I said earlier, make sure you buy 2 or 3 bags more. It is better to have it a little deeper versus too shallow. Any shallow areas will be noticeable. Now, a nice little tip, think about and take a look at your area to see what is visible with the eye and what is not, right? In other words, you might not have to actually mulch all the way back to the edge of your house if you have huge, bushes covering it, for example, that, will keep their leaves all year long. So that would be a little tip there for you to save money and mulch. You don't need to necessarily mulch all the way underneath everything if indeed you can't see back there when you're kind of walking by or whatnot. So take note of that. You can see there from that image, I'm not mulching all the way back. From this angle, you can see it, the difference between the old and the new mulch. But if you stand up, you really can't see it. So hopefully that can help you out. And you basically just pile it over and start, like I said, just start covering all that old stuff up. And gosh, it feels so good to get a fresh layer of mulch down. It's a game changer in terms of your flower bed and flower garden. It just makes it look so new and nice, and like you actually care about your property, right? So, and we like to put mulch down. A lot of people are really hot to trot when it comes to be, around like March, where they've been cooped up all winter and they're ready to get their gardens going. And so the first, 50-degree day, they're out doing it. I don't prefer to do that because the spring brings rain and you're more likely to lose your color faster, right? Whereas if you wait until maybe like, May or end of May, mid-May, you're less likely to have that color is more likely to stay around a little longer. Looks a little fresher, lasts you through the summer, so you don't get to like August or September and it just looks like it did before you put fresh mulch down. Anyway, you can get a sense for my technique here. You might want to wear gloves. Some of this wood is a little prickly. And if it's warm to the touch, it's not unusual. If it's been kind of fermenting in the bag a little bit, especially if it's wet, you'll feel heat coming from the mulch, which is kind of a fun sensation. So don't be alarmed. Notice I'm not going super deep here, and any lumps of clay I'm kind of picking out and throwing around, picking up a handful here and there, just smoothing it out as much as I can, and then we'll clean it up with the broom after that. You know, is it professional? But this is a do-it-yourself channel, right? I think it looks good. Anyway, we'll stop the video there, close it out with a few final shots. And hopefully this video's helped you out. Thanks so much for joining me. Click that like button. And again, don't forget to subscribe for more do-it-yourself projects and videos and whatnot. Thanks.